nation can build its greatness, including the United States. And it's the greatness in recognizing those values: unity, peace, cooperation, dialogue, togetherness, that we would want to be guided by the United States and not by the promise of our damnation. Damnation we shall always resist, no matter whence it comes. We have resisted it when it was in the form of imperialism, as we fought for our own independence, our own culture, our own sovereignty to be masters of our own destiny. That's why we call ourselves free today. It is because the monster of imperialism was defeated by us. Bring us another monster, by whatever name, he will suffer the same consequences. My country is an unflinching advocate for the respect of the sovereignty and independence of countries. We therefore strongly defend and respect the right of each country to take decisions in exercising its sovereign rights. We cannot, however, remain silent when those decisions impact or have the potential to negatively affect our own welfare. And on this, may I say, some of us were embarrassed. Each nation can build its greatness, including the United States. And it's the greatness in recognizing those values: unity, peace, cooperation, dialogue, togetherness, that we would want to be guided by the United States and not by the promise of our damnation. Damnation we shall always resist, no matter whence it comes. We have resisted it when it was in the form of imperialism, as we fought for our own independence, our own culture, our own sovereignty to be masters of our own destiny. That's why we call ourselves free today. It is because the monster of imperialism was defeated by us. Bring us another monster, by whatever name, he will suffer the same consequences. Mr. President, for us in Africa, the current antiquated system perpetuates our historic injustice, one that can never ever be justified today. The 2030 agenda represents new wine, and we call for a new wineskin, lest we ruin the new wine. It is for this reason that I reiterate my country's unflinching support for the African Common Position on Security Council reform, commonly known as the Ezulwini Consensus. Mr. President, the overwhelming majority of us have accepted that we need to reform the current system in order to improve but not destroy it. Nonetheless, the negotiations and process intended to yield the accepted reforms are painstakingly slow.
I'm not going to lie to you right now. I'm going to tell you the truth. I hate old leaders so much because it is very easy for old leaders to get manipulated. That is why I feel like Africa needs to have young, energetic, and open-minded leaders, yeah, who can be able to run this country, the likes of Capt.Ibrahim, Traore, and many others. But I love the speech of Robert Mugabe. I was walking around and I made this speech, and I felt like, wow, this speech is one of the best speech. Yeah, Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe was addressing the West, and he was very clear and was very direct. He addressed United States of America. And the reason as to why he addressed United States of America, it is because of this issue we've been coming across of Michael Langley and trying to interfere with the matters of Burkina Faso, trying to interfere with the decisions of Capt.Ibrahim Traore, trying to interfere with the African matters, yeah, on how we are supposed to use our resources, our minerals, on how we are supposed to do and all that. They came up with something that is called AFRICOM. We don't know what is the reason for AFRICOM, and we do not know why AFRICOM was created. And I asked a question. Do you think if Africa today decides to create an organization that is called AMERICOM, and then we carry this AMERICOM, we say, now we as Africans, as the United States of Africa, we have created an organization that is called AMERICOM, and the purpose of this organization is to take care of the issues that are in the United States of America. We've seen in the US there is security issues, there is insecurity, and we've seen there is a problem of anger and all that, and therefore we have created an organization that is called AMERICOM. The purpose and the responsibilities of this organization is to take care of the situation that is in America, especially the insecurity issues and all that. Will America accept? Will they accept our organization, the AMERICOM, to go to their country? Because they are coming with an organization that is called AFRICOM. They have created AFRICOM. The purpose of AFRICOM is to take care of the insecurity issue that we are having in Africa. My question is, Africa belongs to Africans. What is the problem, and what what is it that makes them come to Africa to want to solve the problems that are in Africa? And yet in the United States of America, we also have problems in the US that are not solved. I live in Africa. Africa is my continent. I have a certain problem in my continent, which is Africa. But that problem I have in my continent, which is Africa, it is in my own continent. It is supposed to be my responsibility and my problem and my business to know how this problem is going to be solved. I don't see the reason as to why a foreigner should come to my country and create an organization that is going to coming to help me with the problem that is in my country. What is their business with the problems in Africa? Yet we also have problems that are there in the United States of America, and they are unsolved. Why wouldn't you take these, or rather, why wouldn't you save this power and this energy to make sure you're making your country better, you're making your country good place for everybody to live? Charity begins at home. I think they should start by making their home before they come out and decide to make our homes. So Robert Mugabe came out and he gave a very, very, very crucial, very significant statement addressing the United States of America. And one thing he said mostly is that Africa can help itself. Africa can protect itself. Africa has the power to take care of itself, to take care of its people, and to manage itself. Take a look at this video. We will come back and talk about it.
We are left to wonder, justifiably so, whether those who enjoy and sometimes abuse the power and privileges of the current setup are sincere interlocutors in these discussions. Mr. President, it is axiomatic that we harvest what we sow, yet by some strange logic we expect to reap peace. Reap peace when we invest and expend so much in treasure and technology in war. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, global military expenditure in 2016 amounted to approximately $1.6 trillion. In the same year, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, overseas development assistance amounted to approximately $142.6 billion. Those mega investments in ever more lethal weapons and more sophisticated war machinery have not resulted in greater peace or security. Instead, we have witnessed heart-rending suffering and misery and increased mass movements of people fleeing wars and armed conflicts. This trend, Mr. President, should be halted for the benefit of humanity. We believe a different and better world is possible. In proposing and inviting us to focus on prevention, preventive diplomacy, peaceful resolution of conflicts, peace building, and sustaining peace, the Secretary General is pointing us in that desirable direction. We must also seriously tackle the multifaceted and complex root causes of conflicts, including enduring poverty and deprivation, unequal access to resources, the denial of the rights to self-determination of peoples, and interference in the internal affairs of other states, among other causes. Climate change is global. We cannot remain silent when a major economic power in the world, or any other state for that matter, decides to abandon the Paris Climate Change Agreement. And that's the United States, the great United States, Mr. Trump's United States. Let us work together. Climate change is a reality. It is vital that we all play our part in keeping with the provisions of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in order to halt the inexorable march towards the destruction of that upon which our own existence depends. As I conclude my remarks, it is worth reminding each other that the world today, by its very interconnectedness, demands more, not less, solidarity, more, not less, cooperation and dialogue, more, not less, multilateralism. We have brought more and more issues under the global agenda and within the global discourse. This acknowledgement has found expression in the 2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals. Our survival and progress calls for reinforced solidarity, for partnerships and cooperation, for development in unity, in cooperation, and in peace. This is a call to which we all must respond positively and actively. Zimbabwe is already doing so. I want to thank you.
Now, let's talk about this a little bit. Do you know Africa can be able to take care of itself? Now, I want to pick just one important thing that Robert Mugabe was able to let out. United States of America should leave Africa alone. And he was very straight. United States of America. He said most especially United States of America, leave Africa alone. Okay? Africa can be able to solve the problems that are facing them. Okay? Now, do you know Africa can be able to lead itself? Do you know Africa has the powers to govern itself? Do you know Africa is a country, is a continent that has everything that it needs to be able to take care of itself? Do you know Africa does not need China? Africa does not need Russia. Africa does not need the America. Africa does not need any other country to take care of itself. Do you know that? Are you aware of that? Do you know, instead of Africa needing these countries to come and help them, it is China that needs Africa. It is Russia that needs Africa. It is America that needs Africa. Do you know that? Africa is able to take care of itself. And other countries in Africa, in the world, other continents in the world, are the ones who cannot take care of themselves without them associating themselves with Africa. Because their wealth, they're extracting them from Africa. Their minerals, they're extracting them from Africa. Their food, they're extracting them from Africa. The materials they're using to develop and come up with things they're coming up with, to make things they're making, it is because of them. Yeah, it is because of them associating themselves with Africa. They are taking them from Africa. And that is why they have been exploiting Africa for many years. This exploitation has been going on for many years. Are you getting me? They cannot go out of Africa, because if they go out of Africa, that means Africa will develop. But they have kept on sucking Africa. Every other day they suck. Every other day they suck. Now, I want you to understand something here. Africa has been sucked by the West for the last 60 years. Not even 60 years. If we add the years of colonization, it's more than 60 years. It's more than 100 years. Africa has been sucked by the West. African minerals, resources, and wealth has been stolen by the West. Are we together? We are together. Now, if Africa has been stolen, like it has been exploited for over 100 years, and Africa is still rich even today, even if they stop stealing from Africa today, Africa will still remain richer than them, wealthier than them. That means Africa has more than we even expect. It is beyond our expectation. It is more than what we think. It's in abundance compared to how we think. Okay? Which means Robert Mugabe is very right when he's saying Africa can take care of itself, and Africa does not need any other country to come and take care of it. When you're telling us we have seen this happening in Africa, we have seen this happening in Africa, and therefore we want to help Africa concerning this and this and this and this, that is a lie. You are just skipping from the point that we want to come, and of course you cannot say you want to come and steal from Africa directly. You have to say, I am coming to take care of Africa. I'm coming to protect Africa on this and this and this and this. After protecting Africa, what do you gain? Like, how does you protecting Africa helps you? It does not help you, which means the only thing that helps you is you associating yourself and being close to the minerals that are in Africa, to the food that is in Africa, to the fertile soil that is in Africa, and all that. Nothing more, nothing less. White people cannot get out of Africa. They would always want to stay in Africa, because if they get out of Africa, there are many privileges, there are many advantages, there are many benefits that they are going to lose. Are you getting my point? That is my point. Yeah? Yeah. Now, have you asked yourself the reason as to why the Afrikaners, the whites who are in South Africa, they cannot get out of South Africa? They've been given a free entrance to the US by the United States government. You've seen it. They've been asked to go back to the US by the United States of America. But they've not gone back there. Why? Because when they go to America, they are not going to get lands like they have gotten in Africa. They're not going to get fertile lands like the lands they're having in Africa. They can't do farming in the United States of America than compared to how they are doing farming in South Africa, here in Africa. That is why they cannot go out of Africa, which means Africa is the best country for everybody to live in. Africa is the richest country, the wealthiest country that everybody can live in. That is why African Americans and Black Americans who have had the privilege to come back to Africa, they are not going out of Africa. They say, we landed to Africa and we felt like we cannot get out of Africa because of what is happening in Africa. We are experiencing the feeling that we've never experienced, that we've not experienced before. And after reaching in Africa is when I realized I've been missing a lot. So Africa is capable of taking care of itself. Africa is capable of governing itself, and it does not need the help of anybody to govern itself. It does not need the help of anybody to govern itself. Instead, the foreign countries, the Western countries, the Europe countries are the countries that need Africa to help them exist. So Robert Mugabe is very straight, and he's saying what Ibrahim Traore said someday. Africa can take care of itself. Africa has everything that it needs, because Africa cannot be poor when Africa has everything that it needs. Tell me what you think on the comment section about this issue. I'll do my best to make sure I read all the comments and give a response where possible. I am Atamba here to this African streamline. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you very much for making this channel your stopover today.